Memberships is not just about getting admitted into a professional group. Actually, what matters is how you got in and how was the process. You want to make sure that there was a selective process that you went through, and we can claim that this is a show of your extraordinary ability. So, how are the details of this?
Yeah, so memberships is interesting criteria, and usually we have to show that it's based on your excellence in the field, your expertise in the field. Most recently, USCIS is pushing back on a lot of these memberships because a lot of them require you have to be certain age, you have to have certain degree, and that shouldn't be part of basically the selection criteria. So generally speaking, you have to show the selection criteria of that organization. Who nominated you, what is their experience and expertise, and also who selected you for that membership, their experience and their expertise in the field. If you only have to pay a fee and then you get in, that's not going to work for your for EB-1 and for O1 for that matter. So we're looking for element of exclusivity, basically.
What about those associations where there's multiple levels? So maybe the first level is, EC, but then the other ones are not, or maybe they're committees.
Right. So with these, obviously, if it's a general membership, that's not going to work for EB-1 or for O1. Now, if you get into more like the senior membership or preferably the fellow membership level, that's more likely to be good evidence for EB-1 and for O1. Also, sometimes, and I cannot say that this works all the time, but let's say the organization has just a general membership. That's not going to work. But then you're actually on the advisory board within that organization. Usually, at least in the United States, advisory boards actually, they have their own criteria for selecting their board members. And there you have to show expertise in the field, you have to interview with the other board members. So you do have that element of exclusivity joining that advisory board. So that, generally speaking, that should work.
Got it. And is it the same if you're just a member or if you're a very involved member doing things within the organization?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be active with the organization. So people tend to get a lot of memberships. Sometimes I see clients, they say, well, I have 10 memberships. And then when I ask them, do you know where, they can really tell you because it's a whole list of things. So that's not very effective. What's effective is maybe you have 1 or 2 memberships, but you're really engaged and involved with that organization. So I'll take, for example, IEEE, since a lot of the technology professionals are joining it. If you sit on their committees, if you write papers for them, if you write their courses, or you edit their standards, or you volunteer in your local chapter, all of these things are important, and most likely you will get the membership criteria with that. Now compare that to I'm a senior member of IEEE and I have a certificate. Well, that's you and thousands of other people. So in that case, USCIS will not approve that criteria.
Got it. What about in professions where there are not that many associations? Let's say entrepreneurs, a case we see very often, with accelerators, very prestigious one like YC, Techstars, or other like that.
Yeah, so with accelerators is interesting. So with that could work for an O1 if it's a prestigious accelerator, and if, let's say, for example, their selection is 5% or less. Perhaps this can be argued for an O1 that you're part of this prestigious sort of organization. You went through this competitive process. You got invited to join this accelerator. So for the O1, that would work. Now for EB-1, it is risky. I mean, it can be argued, but we have to be careful with that because unfortunately, accelerators don't really fit into the definition of membership for EB-1 purposes.
Yeah,
or
so
O1 purposes.
Yeah, so O1 is more flexible. EB-1,
Right.
It depends a bit on the official,
Right, yeah.
on the officer. And The other thing we always talked about here is like this needs to be a personal membership, not a company membership.
Yeah, so it has to be, I mean, you have to be the member. It has to be an individual membership. It has to be based on your accomplishments, not on your company. So sometimes, companies get memberships in, different organizations, either because they can pay $10,000 to join, and then they give opportunities for their employees to become member of that organization. That's not gonna work. It has to be you, your skills, your extraordinary ability that will get you that membership.
So in order to claim membership, it needs to be a competitive process to get into the association or into that sub-level of the association, and it needs to be a personal membership.